Thank you for staying with us. Conditions in prisons have remained inhuman for many years now. Vice President Guy Scott today went out to Mukobeko Maximum Security Prison on a fact-finding mission on the state of the prison. Dr. Scott described the conditions at Maximum Security Prison as a human tragedy and that the PF government will not forget prisoners even if they are condemned. Our reporter, Efim Pande, brought us this report.
There is no dignity beyond this black gate, and life beyond this gate is a living hell. This is Mukobeko Maximum Security Prison in Kabwe, where human rights are non-existent going by the way prisoners are kept. Overcrowding is the order of the day at Mukobeko, which was meant to cater for 400 inmates, but now houses over 1,600 prisoners. Mukobeko is also the home of death row prisoners. And those on death row who are supposed to sleep in individual cells share these tiny cells. Sometimes there are 6 inmates in one cell. Proper diety is not followed here. The only thing that keeps these inmates going is prayer. And to show how prayerful these inmates are, we have donated 2 Bibles, one for President Sata and the other for Vice President Guy Scott. The Commission of Prisons has some answers on why the situation at Mukobeko has degenerated to these levels.
I wish to state further that most of our prison buildings were built in the colonial days and are now old structures that in some situation need replacement. There are only a few prisons that were built after independence. Therefore, the physical state of most of those prisons built in the colonial days are in a deplorable state. That is, they are also not secure, and in some situations, they are not fit for human habitation.
Vice President Guy Scott, who visited the maximum security prison, did not mince his words.
You are a mixture of people. Some of you, like the man who has been here 19 years, he hasn't had his appeal heard, but others of you have had your appeals rejected. But we have to find a solution. This is like hell on earth. I had a close friend, Valentine Musakanya, who lived in this block. When he was eventually pardoned, he told me about the terror of thinking all the time, that all the time they are going to execute him. He says, and I heard what he said, so I believe. As a government, we can't allow the present situation to continue. But how we handle it has to be decided collectively. Has to be decided collectively.
And Minister of Home Affairs, Kennedy Sakeni, had his own description.
And indeed, that's not the way it's supposed to be. We know your toilets are inside your cells and in form of a plastic container. That's purely inhuman. Leero mukwai obuteeko bwenu bwakolayisha n'amaka okuchinja imikalire y'abonse abafungwa mu kifungo.
The inmates too had a message for President Sata.
We had several men have their sentences commuted and others were even pardoned and released, but there was none that was considered from the women. It is the same even when it comes to amnesty and pardon, it's always the same issue, Your Honor. Women are never considered. If there's anybody that is considered, it's only one and maybe two out of all the number that is here. Your Honor, we ask that you may truly look into our issue as women. As you know, women are the custodians of families.
But in spite of their hardships, the prisoners have not forgotten their artistic talents, which they showed off to Dr. Scott. The Vice President's visit has left inmates at Mukobeko with some hope for the future, in spite of their incarceration. Effie Mpande, ZNBC News, Kabwe, Central Province.
Time now to join Joshua Jerry with business news.